Hey, it's A Humble Collector here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the two-panel death card of Karl Jobst. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So going from the top here, we have an Iron Cross, and then further down, in pious remembrance and prayer of my dear husband and father, our good son and brother, Karl Jobst, from Fromberg, Unteroffizier in a pioneer company, bearer of the wound badge, participant in the campaign in France and Russia, who died from the consequences of his wounds on July 19th, 1943, at the main dressing station in Dolgen'Koye, at the age of 28. I was actually able to find a casualty record for Karl, and he was actually part of kind of an unusual unit. So he was born on December 24th, 1915 in Fromberg, and weirdly, both Volksboot and Ancestry list him as an Obergefreiter, not an Unteroffizier, as it's noted on his card here. So I'm wondering if he got demoted at some point, had made it to the rank of Unteroffizier, and then did something to piss somebody off and got demoted. Perhaps there was a bit of a miscommunication. Maybe he was up for a promotion to Unteroffizier, and the family got it that way. I'm not sure if the Wehrmacht did posthumous promotions, but certainly that's possible. Though I admit I really haven't seen any examples of that. Regardless, he was a member of Brücken Column B 537. Now, the Brücken or bridge columns would be equipped with boats and equipments to establish bridges or ferries as the situations dictate. So Karl was not only a pioneer or, a combat engineer, as we call them in the U.S. Army, but he was actually in a specialized bridging unit that their whole job was, being experts in setting up bridges, pontoon bridges, ferries, basically anything that was needed to transport the German military across a river, which is pretty cool. Now, in this case, Brücken Column B 537 seems to have been assigned to the 4th Panzer Army. It looks like it spent some time earlier in the war with the 17th Army, but then by the time that Karl was killed, was under the command of 4th Army. So instead of being attached to a specific division, they were an Army group level unit. They were kind of being sent wherever the Army needed them at that point. And his cause of death is listed as heavy shrapnel wounds to the upper rear and limbs. And he did die at the main dressing station at Dolgen'Koye, southeast of Kharkiv. So actually lines up perfectly with what's on the card here. And he's actually buried in the military cemetery in Kharkiv to this day. Block 4, Row 10, grave 836. Now moving to the bottom of the card here. Good wife, children, and father, I no longer return to you. The last thought, the last look hurried back to you when I died in enemy territory. Nobody held my hand as my sight was broken, and I saw the sky open. Our Father, Hail Mary. And then moving to the back here, we actually just have a large one-page photo of Karl. So yeah, really interesting card. I think I've run across one other bridging unit in my research. I don't think I've done a video on it yet. It was one that I researched relatively recently. The difference being he was in a Geberg's bridging unit and not a regular Army bridging unit. And obviously the heavy shrapnel wounds that he took are indicative of, his unit was probably trying to bridge a particular river, and, they came under Soviet artillery fire, and that's what ended up killing him. At least that'd be my guess. But yeah, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you. Thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I will see you all again very soon.